Okay, so discuss the character of Slim. Inn of Mice and Men. So I think the quote you might have is, he was a prince among men. Let's have that one. There you are. He was a prince among men. Discuss the character of Slim. Inn of Mice and Men. So from here then, once you've opened it and you've gone, oh God, that first one's rubbish. Right, I'm going to go with Slim. I don't have much of a choice. What do you do after you breathe? How are we going to work out the question? How are we going to approach it? The discuss part is offering various different sides you can go for. Heidi?
So the quote, would you get marked if you use it? Or do you can you not use it and still go?
Oh no, go for it. If it's there, take it. Take it and run. No, not at all. It's just there as a starting point, as a bit of a steer to kind of get you going in the right direction. Yeah. Okay, so we're discussing. Yeah? So we're covering issues. We're covering sort of moments. Slim's not an enormously dynamic character. He only appears in a few times. So really, if you get a Slim or a Carlson, which I think is highly unlikely, but you never know, he might come up. Because Carlson, I think, is twice. He kills the dog, and then he gets cross when his gun's missing. And then says at the end of it, talking to Slim and George, what's eating them up or something when they walk away. So, character, different characterizations, and it's a really open question, so we can kind of make it what we want. But the starting point is he was a prince among men. What do we know about Slim? What do we feel about Slim? Yeah, so we have a social status. Okay? Context. Why do we need to have a social status in the ranch? What was going on at the time where that is a thing? What privilege does he have that no other man on that ranch has?
Respect.
He's got that respect. Because he's fair. Okay, he's kind, he's thoughtful. He's perfect. Okay? Within that as well, does he move around? No, he doesn't. He's got a fixed spot. That's really unusual, okay? So he is fixed. He's also a character that does not change. Now, we did this in Spectacles. Gosh, that's over a year ago. It's nearly, a long time ago. What is the difference between a round character and a flat character? A round character, flat character, Adam. Yeah, good. The round character. The only best way that I can think about it, because the analogy doesn't work in my head, is like a snowball. Yeah, snowballs are round. You throw a snowball down a hill, it will keep gathering stuff, it will keep moving, and then you've got an avalanche. Round characters propel the narrative, okay? But he's fixed. Flat characters serve the narrative. Round characters make things happen. Flat characters are just there. If Slim wasn't in the novel, do we still have a novel?
Yeah.
We do, so therefore he's a flat character. Okay? So, flat characters, they serve the narrative. Round characters, they propel them. Think about the snowball. Okay? If Slim wasn't there, we would still have a story. If Candy was there, would we have a story? If Candy wasn't there, would we still have a story? Or would there be gaps? There would be gaps. If Carlson wasn't there, would we still have a story? Yeah. Would not shooting the dog stop the story from happening and the ending? Not really. If Curly's wife isn't there, do we have a story? No, we don't. She's really quite fundamental. If Crooks isn't there, do we have a story? No, we don't. If Curly isn't there, do we have a story? No, we don't. So you get the idea. If the character is removed from the narrative, does the narrative still work? Do the events still happen? Yeah, and unfortunately, bless him, that's Slim. Okay, so Slim, I think, is fixed. I don't think he propels the narrative at all. Okay, so he's quite fixed. That's quite an unusual thing. The migrant workers, they had a really, really high turnover. It was unusual for you to be able to find your ranch and then stay there. So job security was not a thing at the time. Okay, so we're going to put job security. Context. Okay. Kind, fair and thoughtful, okay, wasn't a thing. Why was that not a safe personality trait to have at the time? Why might that be a really dangerous thing?
People take advantage of you.
Good. People take advantage. Now, we've already mentioned the idea of taking advantage of someone. So you will find that some of the contextual references that you have, for example, the friendship question, you can simply take out and transplant into a Slim question. Or if you have a question about aggression, aggression hasn't come up. Violence hasn't come up. You're going to have violent words, violent actions. You take that out and you put it into a curly question. You take it out of a curly question, you put it into a violent question. You take it out of the George Lennon question into so you can transplant all sorts of different pieces of context and referencing into a huge variety of different types of questions. Okay. What does Slim do with George? When they're in I think the barn and Lenny's with the puppies, what does Slim do with George? Or they're sitting outside the bunk and it's quiet. What does he do with George?
Playing a game.
No, it's after the card game. He listens. He listens. He allows George to open up. That's really, really dangerous. There is something about Slim that George feels he can have confidence. He can know that he's safe. Okay? And again, that's really dangerous. So people take advantage. This idea of being kind, so it's dangerous to share feelings. They cannot afford to have feelings. They have to be completely desensitized. But we've already got a potential point to do with being desensitized because we've got that reference in with Carlson, okay? But that is something that Slim sort of endorses, but he endorses that in a really kind and very gentle way with Candy. He explains to Candy, he looks after Candy, he offers the dog, so he's trying to sort of mitigate, which means soften the edges, mitigate the problem that has been presented with the death of the dog. Okay? So let's see if we can... Crikey, we've got like 3 minutes. Maybe less. Let's see what we can do. So, Slim embodies the characteristics of the best type of person we would want to meet. Okay, so this is our introduction. Steinbeck uses him as how does he use him? Does he use him to be representative? Does he use him as a beacon of hope and change? Yeah, we can get all just a bit lyrical here. Uses him as a beacon to encourage others to be less ruthless and more considerate towards each other. At the time, these qualities would be seen as weaknesses and certainly taken advantage of.